Okay, so let's continue with our discussion on a crash course on organic chemistry. Last meeting, we were able to determine different types of hydrocarbons and some examples, as well as their properties and characteristics. So those properties and characteristics affect the behavior of different molecules of those compounds. So now we'll have functional groups in which these are sites of chemical reactivity, and these functional groups determine the behavior or allows you to identify or predict the behavior of different compounds. So as I have mentioned, we will be dealing with the 6 common functional groups. We have alcohols, amines, aldehyde, ketone, carboxylic acid, and ester. So if you notice, the functional groups here are composed of molecules. These are attached to the main chain of different organic compounds, in which these organic main chain of the organic compounds are derived from hydrocarbons. Okay? So recalling, our hydrocarbons, they consist of carbon and hydrogen atoms, and they vary in terms of bonding, whether they are single, double, or triple bond. Now, with the existence of these functional groups, those hydrocarbons will change also in terms of behavior. And to determine which family of organic compounds those belong, so we have these functional groups. Okay, so we have alcohol, and the functional group is OH. We have the amine, functional group is based from ammonia without one hydrogen atom, so we have NH2. For aldehyde, we have C double bond OH. For ketone, we have C double bond O. For carboxylic acid, so we have C double bond O and then OH. And lastly, for ester, we have C double bond O, OR, where R here is a substituent. Okay, so recalling substituent from our previous discussion, so R here may be another part or another hydrocarbon group. Okay. So the first is alcohols. So alcohols may be in different uses every day. So we encounter alcohols in beverages, so we also encounter them in terms of sanitation. Okay, so alcohols, they have the main substituent or main group R, and then the functional group is OH. This OH functional group is what you call hydroxyl. Okay, so when we refer to a functional group, so they have a different name depending on the family of organic compound. So this is the functional group. The OH is the functional group, and we call this as hydroxyl. Now, in terms of naming or classifying, so they may be primary, secondary, or tertiary, depending on the number of carbon groups. So it's either the main or the parent chain or the substituent attached to the carbon, this carbon which is directly attached to or mainly attached to the hydroxyl group. And to name these compounds, we call them, so from alkane with the ane, ene, ine, so the last letter, so from alkane, it becomes, instead of E, we have OL. So if we have methane as the parent alkane, it becomes methanol. If we have ethane, okay, so from methane, this is the parent alkane, this becomes methanol. So for this alcohol in beverage and in sanitizing, so you look at the label, those are both from ethane. So how many carbons? So we have 2. So from ethane, we have ethanol. So the main parent alkane is ethane with 2 carbons. So we have ethanol as the alcohol. So primary, secondary, and tertiary. For primary, we notice we only have one substituent. Okay, so remember this is the substituent. And this is the carbon bearing the hydroxyl group. Okay, so this is main or the parent. Okay, and as you notice from primary, so this time in secondary, the number of substituent increases. Okay, so there is an increase in substituent, same as with tertiary. So for secondary, we have 2 substituents. For tertiary, we already have 3. So classification, increase in classification, we have increased substituent. So these substituents will vary on the length. Okay, and in terms of synthesis, so alcohols can actually be transformed, or they can react with the other reagents to synthesize different families of organic compounds. So meaning to say, you can synthesize these following. So we have carboxylic acid, aldehyde from alcohol. We will have an example soon in metabolism. Okay, for ketones, we can also synthesize that from alcohol. Ether, alkenes, and esters can also be synthesized from alcohol. So these can be synthesized from alcohol, meaning to say, alcohol can be the raw material to obtain or to get these different other organic compounds. Let's have naming. Okay. So first thing to do is to look at how many, or the maximum of carbons, how many carbons at maximum does this compound have. Okay, so aside from the IUPAC naming, so remember, so we have here the alkane. This is the alkane parent chain. This is the parent alkane. And recalling, we have the formula for alkane. We have CN H2N plus 2. Okay, and then we see here we have 2 carbons. So the parent alkane is supposedly C2H. So we have 2 times 2, we have 4, plus 2, we have 6. So this is ethane. Okay, so this is from our previous slide. We have ethane, but since we replaced one hydrogen with the hydroxyl group, ethane becomes ethanol. Or another way to call, so remember the substituent R, or the carbon group R, we call this, we have the suffix YL. So we can say this is also called ethyl alcohol. And that's what you can see in labels in your rubbing alcohol. Okay. So ethanol or ethyl alcohol. Next, identify the classification. So if we were to redraw this, we have one carbon bearing the OH, and then this carbon is connected to another one, carbon, and then fill in the hydrogens. Okay, so remember, carbon can accommodate 4. So we have here, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wait, sobra. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we have sakto de, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have the sixth one, the sixth hydrogen from the hydroxyl group. And since we only have one substituent, so meaning to say this is a primary alcohol. Next, let's have this compound here. So remember, the edges represent carbon. So this is a carbon, C. And then fill in hydrogens. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and lastly we have 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 carbons. Count the hydrogens excluding this one from the OH. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then OH. Now, for the corresponding parent alkane would be butane. And the formula for butane is C4H10. Then it became an alcohol, removing one hydrogen, replacing it with hydroxyl. This is now butanol or butyl alcohol. And since we have this, so this is the carbon bearing, hydroxyl bearing carbon, and we only have one R group attached. So meaning to say, so if we were to redraw this COH, okay, then we have 1, 2, 3, C3, and then H, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, H7, and then we have 2 other hydrogens, but it's only one carbon attached to this hydroxyl bearing carbon. So this is still primary alcohol. Now, next. So we have here this one, this alcohol. And if you see any distinction from the others, so there is a slight change in the placement of the hydroxyl group. So let's determine first. We have number of carbons. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill in the hydrogens. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Still we have 4 carbons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hydrogens. And the hydroxyl group. What have you noticed? It's the same as this one. But look at the placement of hydroxyl. it is not at the edges, but it is at the second carbon. Okay, so we have here our hydroxyl group attached to the second carbon from the left. So to name this, we have to indicate at which carbon it is located. Okay, so it should be at the lowest. So the lowest carbon or the minimum. So it's nearer from the left than from the right. So meaning to say this is placed at carbon number 2. So this will be 2. And then since we have 4 carbons, this is still butanol. But the classification is now secondary because there are already 2 carbons attached to the OH bearing carbon. So see the difference? Here we only have one carbon attached to this, but here we have 1, 2. So that's the difference between primary and secondary alcohol. Okay. Next. So these are the names. Next, we have another example. Okay, this one. Now we have here indicated already. So earlier we have the line structure. So by the way, this is the line. This is a line structure. You're only seeing lines and the functional groups. But this one, so the one with the formula, it's the molecular. Okay. We have here we are to count the number of carbons. Either we start from this methyl group here. So remember, this is methyl from methane. Okay. And we have another methyl group here. So if we count from the one above, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even from below, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So meaning to say, we have 5 carbons. Recalling parent alkane, so this is C5H, so 12. Okay, and then from pentane, this becomes, so replacing, we have C5 H11OH, this becomes pentanol. Okay, so verify. So we have 3 plus 3, 6 plus 3, 9. Okay, say 3 plus 3, 6, 9. Am I doing it right? No. So meaning to say, the number of hydrogen, so we have to consider, so 3 plus 3, 6. We only have to consider either. So we have to choose, since one of these is a substituent. Okay, so we have to determine the parent chain. If we start from the top, then this will be our parent chain. Okay, this is the parent chain. Although in counting the number of hydrogens, so later we will include the ones from the substituent. So this is the substituent. Then we have your functional group, hydroxyl. So for pentanol, since this is the parent chain, we have 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then supposedly this is a hydrogen, right? So for pentanol, this is supposed to be a hydrogen, but this is a substituent in place of that hydrogen. So this is not the formula for this compound, but for pentanol it is. Okay, So, meaning to say, pentanol, this is a hydrogen. Now, we have a substituent, methyl. So, in naming, remember, we have the location, and then the substituent. We have the location, parent chain. So, we already know the parent chain is pentanol. But we have to look at which carbon is the hydroxyl group attached to. And since this is carbon number 1, this is 2, carbon 3, 4, 5, we know that location of parent chain here, where the functional group is attached, is at carbon number 2. So this is 2 pentanol. This is the parent chain. Then, we separate it with dash to determine our substituent. We only have one, which is methyl. So, this is methyl. And then, this substituent is also attached to carbon number 2. So, meaning to say, the name of this alcohol is 2-methyl-2-pentanol. Counting the number of substituent attached to the carbon bearing the OH, we have 1, 2, 3. Therefore, this is a tertiary alcohol. How about this one? What is the name of this alcohol? Okay. So you might say, Ma'am, tertiary. Yes, but what's the name? Okay. So we have here, we have one carbon at the center. We have 3 other methyl groups attached to this carbon attached to OH. So therefore, this is tertiary. But how do we name this? Okay. So, if we were to name this, let's count the number of carbons. Okay. So, we have here 1, 2, 3, 4. So, this is a butanol. Okay. So, this is a butanol because it has 4 carbons. So, this is obtained from butane. The parent is butane, and then butanol. But, okay, we can use the classification to name this. So, this is quite unique because if you were to count from here, so we have to consider the longest chain. And if we were to consider a longest chain, we have 1, 2, 3. So the longest would be 3 carbons because one of them should be substituent. Okay? Substituent. If we have 3 carbons, meaning to say it becomes propane. So, propane. So, propanol. But, ma'am, we have 4 carbons. At, we mentioned earlier, this is butane. And then, it is a butanol. Okay? But, this is a special kind of alcohol because you can either name it 2 ways. By IUPAC standard, okay, we have 1, 2, 3. So, this is a propanol. Okay. And then, we know OH is attached to carbon number 2, no matter where you count. So, you count from this substituent or from here. So, this is still attached to carbon number 2. And we have the substituent attached also to carbon number 2. So this is 2-methyl-2-propanol by IUPAC standard. But it has another name. So this is also known as, from our classification and total number of carbons, this is also known as tertiary or tert-butyl alcohol. Okay, so we have dash. So tert-butyl alcohol. And this is the simplest tertiary alcohol. Okay, so this is unique. This is a unique structure. So, 2 ways to name by IUPAC, 2-methyl-2-propanol. By its characteristic, this is also known as tert-butyl alcohol. Okay, so this is already 2-methyl-2-propanol. So, in alcohols, compared with hydrocarbons, as the hydrogen atom in the hydrocarbon group is replaced with hydroxyl, so boiling point also increases. Okay, so if we were to compare, so methane boiling point versus methanol boiling point. Okay, so if we were to compare, so we have, sige, ethanol na lang. From ethane, this is boiling point. Okay, so ethane boiling point is around negative 89 degrees Celsius. But for ethanol, so ethanol is found in drinks such as inyong tuba, your wine, okay, your spirits, distilled spirits. The boiling point of ethanol is 78.37 degrees. So hydroxyl group increases boiling point. So replacing one hydrogen with OH, you increase the boiling point. And we have the order. So tertiary has less or lower grade boiling point than secondary and primary. So meaning to say, the primary alcohols such as ethanol, methanol, they have the highest boiling points compared to the secondary and tertiary counterparts. Since they are polar, they are more soluble in water, and they can either act as an acid and as a base. Now, so this is just a reading assignment. So what drug? So if you were to read Chemical Connections 14A and 14B from Bettelheim, what drug is used to treat high cholesterol and its brand name? And then, what is the use of nitroglycerin? And how is it contained, or how do we store it to render it non-explosive? Next group, we have amines. These are derivatives of ammonia. So remember, ammonia has formula NH3. This is used to have fertilizers, or this was known. So production of ammonia was known to have increased the agricultural produce in the war before. So notable chemist is Fritz Haber. So if you're into people, so Fritz Haber, a chemist, German, I think. And amines, they are derivatives of ammonia where there are 1, 2, or all of its hydrogens are replaced by substituents. So either you have the straight chain or the ring substituents. And in changing the name, so from the parent alkane, you have to change it to the suffix amine. Okay. One example would be morphine. In Bruno Mars' song, It Will Rain. So, if you ever leave me, baby, leave some morphine at my door. Considering morphine is a painkiller. So, an analgesic, if I'm not mistaken. So, this is used to relieve pain. However, it can be addicting. So, it is used in moderation. So, this is the structure of morphine. Classification, just like alcohols. If we have one substituent, that's primary. Two substituents, secondary. If all hydrogens are replaced with substituents, we have tertiary amine. And they can either be aliphatic, aromatic, or heterocyclic. So, aliphatic, so all carbons bonded to nitrogen are alkyl groups, straight chain. Aromatic, one or more of the substituents are having a ring. Heterocyclic, nitrogen is part of the ring. So, difference between aromatic and heterocyclic. Aromatic, nitrogen is just bonded with ring. So, this is bonded with ring. With ring substituent. However, for heterocyclic, part of the ring. For example, we have one substituent, methyl. And this is amine. So, this is aliphatic because it is just a straight chain substituent. But for example, we have phenyl. Okay, remember this is derived from benzene ring. No, this is C6H5, and then we have NH2, phenylamine or aniline. This is aromatic. Now, what if we have something part, no? The nitrogen is part of the ring. This can be found in DNA. So, this is, if it's part, we have heterocyclic. Okay, so here we have heterocyclic because of these nitrogens. But we also have a nitrogen outside. Same for this, in pyrimidine, we have part of the ring, one outside. So, it's categorized both as heterocyclic, aromatic. So, heterocyclic, aromatic. Properties. So, they are polar, more soluble in water than hydrocarbons, so than alkanes, alkynes of comparable molecular weight. They are weak bases, although because, ammonia is a strong base. So, this is a strong base. So, if you open ammonia gas, it is really strong or not good for the smell. And in adding substituents, you decrease its basicity. Okay? So, upon addition of substituents, there is decrease in basicity. And straight chains are stronger than aromatic amines. Aside from ones in DNA, we can find amines in so these are our hormones. Okay, serotonin, dopamine, oxytocin, endorphin. Now, usually hormones, they have their own names depending on which which activities and behaviors they are associated with. Okay, this one. Let's guess this hormone. Okay, so reward, or we have feel good. So this is dopamine. Okay, and looking at the nitrogen, it's outside, so this is heterocyclic. Sorry. This is aromatic. Not heterocyclic, but just aromatic. We have mood stabilizer. No, 'di ba? Mood. So in emojis, usually we refer this as mood. Okay? So this is serotonin. We have 1. So this makes it heterocyclic. 1 outside. This is heterocyclic. And then we have aromatic. Similar to purine and pyrimidine. Now, another application, chemical connection 16C. How is benzodiazepine used in the central nervous system, and what are its effects to the human body? So benzodiazepine is a drug. So determine or find out how is it used in the central nervous system and the effects if the human is given a dose of benzodiazepine. Next, so earlier in our discussion for alcohols and amines, so the first functional group was OH, the second was ammonia derived. This time we have aldehydes and ketones. Okay, so aldehydes and ketones have this common. So we have the common functional group, if you notice. Okay, and we have the C double bond to oxygen. So aldehydes and ketones have C double bond oxygen, which we call carbonyl. This is the carbonyl functional group. And in terms of structure, we can distinguish aldehydes from ketones in a sense that the carbonyl group of aldehyde is bonded to a hydrogen. Okay. Meanwhile, for ketones, the carbonyl group is bonded to 2 carbon atoms. Or, to recall or to distinguish, if we have aldehyde, we have RCHO. For ketones, we have RCOR. Okay. So, R prime here indicates that that's another substituent. So, always remember, the C double bond O is present. Aldehyde is H, ketones, 2 carbon atoms. So, in terms of naming aldehydes, so from alkane, we replace the ane with enal for unsaturated. So, unsa ganing unsaturated? So, if we recall, what is an example of unsaturated aldehyde in terms of bonding? So, how do we classify unsaturated aldehydes? Okay, so that is how. So, we have, so that is basically 1 carbon to carbon double bond. So, this is unsaturated. We have a double bond. Okay. So, darao, double bond. Enal will give you the, so En will give you that you have a double bond, and Al giving you the aldehyde. And then, if you have an OH substituent, you call it hydroxy. And if you have an NH2 substituent, you call it amino. And yes, you're right. Okay. You might be familiar of amino acids. Okay. So, amino acids contain the NH2. Okay. So, amino acids are a different different family, but it has NH2. Example of aldehyde. Okay. So, this is present in preservation. Okay. So, we have the C double bond O. So, aldehyde na siya. How many carbons do we have? We only have 1. So, meaning to say, this is the parent alkane is methane. Okay, right? Methane, CH4, isa raman. Okay. But then, this is now aldehyde. So, change E to Al. There are no other double bonds. So, we have methanol. Okay. So, this is called methanol. And it is used in preservation, but it is more known as formaldehyde. Okay. Now, if you're curious enough, then how is it relevant to formalin? Okay. So, formalin is a 40% formaldehyde solution in water. Okay. So, if you see formalin, you know it contains 40% formaldehyde in water. So, water is the solvent. Another, so, we have here the benzene derivative, phenyl group. Okay. So, since this is the main substituent, then connected to C. So, another way to rewrite this, so, we have your piatos, your benzene ring, and then you have carbon bonded to O, bonded to H. Okay. So, we call this benzaldehyde. Benz from this ring, then we have aldehyde. And benzaldehyde is used in flavoring and perfume making. Next, we have ketones. So, in naming, from the parent alkane, E, this becomes one, O-N-E. Example, we only have, so let's look at, we have C, C, C. C double bond O, 3, 4. Complete na ni siya. C, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Count the number of carbons. 1, 2, 3. We have C3. Parent alkane. We know this is C3. And then 3 times 2, 6 plus 2. So we have propane. Okay, the parent alkane is propane. But then, we see the carbonyl group. So, meaning to say, this is ketone. Change E to on. Propanone. But, looking at the structure, this is not, the C double bond O is not attached to either of these carbons here. So, meaning to say, this is in carbon number 2. This is 1, 2, 3. So, meaning this name of the compound is 2-propanone, or also known as acetone, which is the solvent to remove nail polish. So, this is a solvent that can remove nail polish. Properties, because of the carbonyl group, okay, because of carbonyl group, they have similar properties. So they are both polar compounds, and they have higher boiling points and greater solubility in water in comparison to non-polar compounds of comparable molecular weight. Now, another reading. So, chapter 17, you have there, page 440, section 17.4. What is the name of the test that refers to the reaction between an aldehyde and Tollens reagent, and what does it form? What is formed when you have an aldehyde and Tollens reagent? And a quick search, what is ketonuria or ketonuria, and how is it detected in the human body? So what test will be used to detect ketonuria? And what does it imply? So if you have ketonuria, what is it? How will it affect you? Okay, so that's for aldehydes and ketones. They both have carbonyl group. Now we are down to the last two. We have carboxylic acid and ester. So still they have C double bond O, but we see difference in terms of substituent. Carboxylic acid, you have C double bond OOH. For ester, we have C double bond O, OR. Familiar? Okay. So how do we distinguish carboxylic acid from aldehyde? From aldehyde, we only have H, diba? But carboxylic acid, we have OH. For ketones, we have RC double bond OR. For ester, we have OR. So meaning to say, these are oxidized forms. Okay. They have greater number of oxygen. So remember, these can be synthesized from alcohol. So see now the relevance. From alcohol, you can get aldehyde and ketones, and then you can also get carboxylic acids and esters. So carboxylic acids, they have the carboxyl. Okay, carboxyl is C double bond O, OH. So this is the carboxyl functional group. Okay, and then in naming, so we still have the parent alkane E, and then we replace it with oic acid. Okay, so we replace the suffix. So let's name this one. This is familiar to you, I presume, from experiment 1, supposedly, if you have performed wafting. So we have here carbon. We have 2 carbons. So from our parent alkane, we have 2 carbons. This is C2H6, meaning to say this is ethane. So let's fill in hydrogens. But we have carboxyl. Okay, so meaning to say this is ethanoic. So from ethane, change E to oic acid. Ethanoic acid. Or this is actually, or this has a special name, and we can find this in vinegar. So this is acetic acid. Okay, so ethanoic acid or acetic acid. So its properties, so you have sour, pungent odor. Okay, aside from this in vinegar, this one, okay, benzene, ma'am. Okay, you have benzene from C6H6. So this is benzene, but you have the carboxyl. So this becomes benzoic acid. And this is antibacterial or antifungal preservative. More examples. So we have aspirin. So this is actually a medication. And then we have butanoic acid, which is found in cheese. Okay, so the flavor or smell of cheese. So we have butanoic acid, carboxylic acid. Properties, it has 3 covalent bonds. Your C double bond O, your CO, and OH. And because of that, so it is polar and it has higher boiling points. It's more soluble in water compared to alcohol, aldehyde, ketones, and ethers of comparable molecular weight. Now, last but not the least, we have ester. Okay. So, if we have the C double bond OR with ketones, ester has an additional oxygen. So, we have C double bond O, OR. Okay. So, ester is C double bond OR. And instead of, so, naming, no? So, we have the name in terms of the acid and the alkyl group bonded to oxygen. If we have ic acid, so it becomes O8. So kung ang carboxylic acid, you have oic acid. So esters are derived from these ic acids. We replace it with the suffix O8. For example, okay, so we have here the C double bond O, OR. Okay, so this is the functional group. Okay, and then this is sorry, for a while, this is not the functional group, but rather this one. This is the functional, so this is the substituent. Okay, the functional group is the one at the left. Okay, it can be at the left or at the right. Okay, so it depends. But let's try to redraw and see. Okay, so if we have C double bond O, this is O. Okay, so, diba we have R1 and R prime, or the R and R prime. Okay, so if we decide that we have here 2, so we have 2 carbons. This is ethane, derived from ethane. Okay, but the one at the right, so we also have 2 carbons. So we have here R, but this one is only 1. Okay, so another way to see this, so we can actually draw the line structure, okay, to see which one is the functional group. Okay, so this will look like this. Okay, So, emphasizing this is O, this is attached to R. So, our first guess is that indeed this is the functional group. Okay. So, our first guess is correct. That this R prime is the functional group. Okay. So, R prime is functional group. And then, if we were to name the functional group, so it comes from ethane. Okay, but remember, we change the parent from ethane to ethanoic acid. This becomes O8. So we have ethanoate. Okay. Now, how about the substituent? Okay. Okay. The substituent, we have also 2 carbons. Okay. We have 2 carbons. If our R is treated as substituent, we also have 2 carbons. So, meaning to say, we have ethyl ethanoate. Okay. That's our first guess. This is the functional group. This is the substituent. Okay. But if we were to reverse, if we were to, kung balihon na to siya, so still, you have 2 carbons from the main or primary, and then you also have the 2 carbons from the substituent. And you might say nga, asa di ay ang from the acid ani ma'am? Okay. Which one is referred to as the one from the acid? Okay. So, the one from the acid is this portion, okay, where you have here the methyl, this methyl substituent attached to this carbon. Okay, so kani nga, this is the one referring to the acid. Okay, and this one, this is from the alcohol. Because remember, in synthesis, we get esters from alcohols and acids. Okay. Now, aside from ethyl ethanoate, we can also call this ethyl acetate. And ethyl acetate is found in plastic balloons. Okay. So, ethyl acetate is an ester found in plastic balloons. Last but not the least, example. So we have, let's try to name this. So let's count the number of carbons. Okay. So main chain. We start from functional group 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Fill in the hydrogens. Okay. And since it is 4, so we know it is from butane. So it is derived from butane. And then we see here C double bond O, then this is the R. Right? C double bond O, OR. Okay. Now, you already probably have a guess which one is from the alcohol, which one is from the acid. Okay. Okay. So, just like our previous example earlier, no, from the alcohol, that's the ending, no? So the O8 or ethanoate, for this one, we only have 1 carbon. So, this is a methane. So, methanoate. And then, our parent is 1, 2, 3, 4. Since we have consider this. So, a substituent. So, this is our R. This is R prime. So, this is butyl methanoate. Okay. So, meaning to say, the name of this is butyl methanoate. And this is found in apples. So, if you have apple flavorings, it is an ester, or it contains an ester, which is named butyl methanoate. Okay. So, if we notice, esters are mostly fragrant. Although they have polar bonds, they do not engage in hydrogen bonding. And the longer the chain, the lower, or the solubility in water decreases. Okay. So, longer chain length would result to a decrease in solubility in water. And lastly, so why should one avoid consuming significant amounts of saturated and or trans fatty acids? Okay. So you have there fatty acids, saturated, okay, and then you are to call, or rather read, page 465, section 18.5d. So what do you call the method of forming an ester by treating a carboxylic acid with an alcohol in the presence of an acid catalyst? Okay, so a hint for this, scientist behind is Fischer. Okay, so that concludes our discussion, and I will see you next face-to-face meeting. Please answer the crossword puzzle that I have given you. We will be verifying your answers the next time we meet.